Greetings and salutations, friend. I am Jeremy Tank. I am a behavioral branding expert, a master designer, and an RTT hypnotherapist. And what I do is help you in brand transformation. And to understand that, first we have to define a little bit about what is a brand. What is your brand? That's the best question to ask to start this conversation, right? What is your brand? Who are you? What do you do for a living? How do you feel about what you do for a living? What is it that brings you joy? What is it that actually sparks joy in your heart, in your life, in your brain every single day? That's a tough question to answer, huh? I don't think there's many people that can instantly go, oh, yes, I know what brings me joy. I have already locked on to that like a site and go ahead and go for it, right? There's not many people that can do that. And the thing is that your brand is essentially that. Encapsulated, wrapped up in a little gift, put on a pretty colored bow, and handed over to somebody else to make them feel something. But really, that's it. It's just to make them feel something. And I know that that sounds trite, really. We live in a society that feelings are not something to be celebrated. We live in a society that tells you that your purpose here is to become part of the machine, to make money, to buy things, and to essentially replicate yourself. But you know that that's not your purpose. And I feel like there's enough people out there who are coming to a sense of enlightenment about this, a sense of dis-ease, dissatisfaction with the mechanisms of our society, the constructs of the machine in which we live, where we're actually coming to understand that who I am inside can be broadcast out to other people. And those things that motivate me, the things I want to create, give me a thumbs up if this sounds familiar to you from inside out. The things I want to create, the things I want to feel, the things I want to share with people are part of who I am. They're part of what I want to bring to the world, right? There's so much embedded stigma in being yourself and being a little different and being quirky and being fun. At the same time, I remember watching the show Portlandia when it started, and one of the key parts of Portlandia is that Portland loves being weird. They love it being weird. I live in Seattle, and Seattle and Portland have a little bit of a tete-a-tete, a fun competition, just to see who can be weirder. It's the uniqueness, the authenticity behind truly embracing your purpose, who you are, and bringing that to the world. And really, that relationship, that communication is your brand. That niche of who you are and how you share it with the world tells the world who you are. And the work that I do is a little bit of sculpting that, of helping you use better words that convey what you want to do and how you want to shape your life to those around you. Because when we communicate clearly with those around us, or those that we do business with, that we build our community. We build an understanding of reciprocity, of shared experience, of shared responsibility for the world, for our own motivation, for our purpose, for our vision, for the things we're building. And that's important, because without community, what do we have? Well, we have anarchy. And I know that there are people that are like, yeah, anarchy, yeah. But the plain and simple fact is that looking after only yourself within a society where everyone only copies that is not the best way to go. So within the mechanism of our society, we have the idea of purpose. And purpose is a tricky one because if you watch any of my videos, if you watch any of the stuff I've shared before, we go through a lot of training between being a young child, an older child, school, college, work, that tells us that our purpose is to be an employee. Our purpose is to stay in our place. Our purpose is not to rock the boat. Our purpose is to behave. But there is no point in society where the person who behaved changed the world. There is no point in society when the people who listened, obeyed, stayed small, made changes for the better. So today, I invite you to rediscover your purpose, to take a few moments and look inward. Maybe a little meditation a little later today, and just ask yourself, what is my purpose in this world? Because it means a lot for you and how you approach the world, what you value and how you intend to manifest yourself into the world. Because purpose has a lot to do with the core of you and the core of being who you are and the core of what you actually desire before all of that training, before all of that societal inspiration got you to believe certain things about yourself. What did you enjoy? What did you used to enjoy? What do you still enjoy? What lights you up? What inspires you? Because we feel like we have to attend a job or attend others or attend something within these systems of life, and that we should be motivated to do those things. And the problem with motivation is motivation does not come when you need to do something. Motivation comes when you've started doing something. Literally, you have to take the steps and start moving the action in the direction that you want before your brain goes, oh yeah, I'm doing good. I'm going to keep this up. I'm going to go somewhere. You have dreams of becoming a rock star. Fantastic. Learn to play an instrument. Learn how to sing. Until that point, you haven't taken the actions. You want to be a public speaker. That's fantastic. What do you have to say? There's a tricky one. What do you actually have to say? What can you share with people that will transform their lives? If you want to be a cook, first thing you need to do is taste ingredients. Understand what you're adding together in order to learn how to place elements together so that they taste magnificent. And motivation is driven by the idea that you have something in your head that you are moving towards. That there is a vision, there is a purpose, there is something driving you. And vision is tricky because so much of what we tend to envision as part of our lives, as part of our growth, as part of our strategies for getting through the day are coping visions, coping mechanisms just for existing, right? And that's tough. How do you tell a real vision, a real goal, a real objective from the things that we think we've been told we think we want because we've been told we want it? I love the idea of law of attraction's vortex, which is the idea that everything you want is essentially out in the world, ready to come to you. Totally able, ready to flow right to you when you point yourself in that direction, when you take the momentum, the actions, the steps in that direction, when you focus on that goal, when you narrow down your scope and you become clear that is your goal, then out there in that vortex, it comes right to you. In quantum science, we would call that entanglement. When one particle, regardless of time, regardless of space, spins one direction, let's call it positive, positive. Then the other particle, somewhere, doesn't matter time, doesn't matter space, some other particle is spinning in the negative, in the opposite direction. And together, they draw each other right towards each other. And it's sort of funny that we can actually measure and see some of this in quantum physics. They're showing it to us weekly, daily, annually, whole new batches of experiments testing this. When things are entangled, it's shown that even backwards in time, compared to a forward observation of what a particle, negative or positive, that even backwards in time matches whatever was observed. And the key to all of this is the observer. The key to all of this is the one taking the steps, taking the actions, making the movements forward. You are responsible for all of this. You are a creator. You are someone who came into this life to observe the energies of the universe zipping all around you and to make choices. Oh, thank you for all the hearts. To make choices about your life, about what you want to do, about where you want to go with it, about the things that bring you happiness. And why happiness? Oh, I love this. I love this conversation. Why happiness, Jeremy? Why love, Jeremy? All these gurus, all these sages, all these new age woo-woo people are always like love and peace and happiness and joy. Even my mother, who was a spiritual leader in Phoenix, she passed away in 2017, and for the several years that she was an ordained minister, up to the point she passed away, she was like, look, it's all about having a joy-filled life. Nothing else matters. As long as you can find the joy in yourself in life, you're good. And that hasn't changed since the teachings 10,000 years ago. It's still the idea, still the concept. Finding a shared space with another person, finding the camaraderie of life, finding that feeling is what it's all about. Love, joy, peace, gratitude. See, what happens is that these emotions, when you center on them, when you pay attention to them, when you hold on to them, and it's a choice. It's always a choice, right? You can let anger, you can let fear, you can let regret, you can let shame, you can let any of these things grab you, hold on to you. And it's sort of like the evil priest in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom reaches right into the heart and rips it out, right? It's that sort of thing. Like when you hold on to those types of emotions, it grabs you and it doesn't let you go. But fear and anger and dread, anxiety, stress, all of these are physical born emotions, feelings. Emotions are things that we name. Feelings are things that we feel. By the time I say fear, it's not a feeling anymore. It's gone up to the neocortex. It's logic. I am naming something that I feel. And all that stuff is kind of built in and reinforced in us throughout our lives. Different things make you afraid of other things. What is the core belief of that fear? Well, it's a choice that you made at some point in your life because that fight or flight response kicked off and it said, okay, well, if you make this choice, I think you're going to die. If you make this choice, I think you're going to live. Now, would you really have died? Probably not. We don't live in the time of dinosaurs or saber-toothed tigers or woolly mammoths or anything else hunting us down. But a lot of these mechanisms have taken millions of years to grow and develop and build up into this response in us. And it's very difficult to move past that. But when we move past that, when we train the mind to move past that, just like you would train your muscles to lift heavier weights, just like you would train yourself to eat healthier to lose weight, you have to train your mind to hold on to the happy parts, the joyful parts, the loving parts. Because when you do that, it entrains mind and body in a different way of being. Human being. The The way of human being is not of fear. The way of human being is not in constant anger. The way of human being is not in shame and guilt and repression. The way of a human being is in love and gratitude and compassion, empathy, a shared communal experience. We're all going through this. It's kind of like that movie World of Tomorrow. If you haven't seen it, George Clooney, nice movie, fun little movie. There's this idea that he builds a machine that shows essentially the end of the world. And it's essentially showing that because it's based off of the energy that people build up in themselves, which affects the environment around them, which affects the people again, which affects the environment, which affects the universe, which affects everything. It is the quantum conundrum of connecting thoughts, ideas with the energy of yourself and the universe and all of that. Because what happens in that movie is that people don't focus on love. People don't focus on connection, on compassion, on fulfilling the purpose that they have inside, not just the one that society has told them. And because they focus on all the negativity connects with nature around them, with the inspiration of the people around them, and it drags everything down. It is literally the forecast of the future and the horrible feelings embodied in that cause this downward spiral in that movie. I think a lot of times we ourselves get stuck in that same sort of downward spiral. But the thing is that when you come into this life, when you come into this world, when you come into this body, we look at quantum science, we have wave and particle. Wave is energy. The quantum field, the vortex, that is all energy, all possibility, no matter, no particle. This is just pure energy, pure idea, pure concept, pure consciousness. And then we get to the material world, and here I am in this physical body where thoughts manifest, where thoughts change my body, where my body changes my brain, where my gut and all that bacteria, all of the, I guess bacteria is actually kind of correct. Bacteria, viruses, funguses, even among us, change, transform how we think, how we feel, how we are inspired to do things. And when we get overwhelmed, we are literally turning off pieces of our brain. The more, okay, here's one for you. On a scale of 1 to 100, okay, your fight or flight response is this subtle scale of grade. It's not an on or off sort of thing. And this grade scale is really the scale of depression, anxiety, stress, right? That's what it is. When you get to, I'd say, 1 or 0 being completely in love with you and your life, everything you're doing, you're easily connected at 0 with the wave part of existence and the particle part of existence. You are balanced yin-yang, masculine, feminine, sun and moon, right? You have figured out how to walk the middle path. And because of that, the universe basically allows you to walk in the vortex, to feel and see the things coming to you. Now, on the opposite side of that scale, we have 100. At 100, you are vying for a heart attack. You are vying for a stroke. You are vying for some part of your physicalness to overcome health. Really, health? Because when you stress yourself out and live in that constant state of high tension, high anxiety, high pressure, it really is taxing because you have gone completely to the physical realm, which means your body is just trying to survive. Just trying to survive. And the funny thing is that if you go from about 1 to 5 on that scale, I mean, barely even starting that scale on a course to 100, it hijacks your higher thinking. It disconnects from the prefrontal cortex, which is where a lot of logic is going on. It really disconnects from the whole neocortex, the whole outside of your, the newest part of your brain, the outside of your brain, and it goes really deep into just basic survival functioning. Your vision, your ability to see your vision, to create motivation for yourself, to touch the part of yourself that came into this life, this world, with motivation, with purpose, with drive, narrows. And I mean narrows. The more stressed you get, the more narrow you literally don't have the ability to fathom up here how to think beyond the next day, week, month, year, maybe not even year, depending on how far along that stress cycle you are. And that stress cycle pushes you out of your purpose even more because you can't connect. How do you connect? Meditation. Take a walk. Listen to, this is going to be a debatable one. Listen to music without words. There, it's back. Listen to music without words. Words activate the neocortex as you try to recognize or really recognize and embrace the logic of words. Music without words works on a whole different frequency. It embodies a different sense of being. And the whole point of this is to find the thing that actually brings you joy. To find just one thing that you can center on for your motivation regardless of the circumstances that you're in. I don't care if the world around you is complete crap. If you can look down and go, yeah, these pants feel really good that I'm wearing today. Right on. Then that's one thing. Center on it. Hold it, embrace it, go with it. Who cares? In your uniqueness, be unique. Because when you can find this purpose, when you can find some motivation, when you can actually start to see the vision again, you know that you're reducing that stress quotient. And some people, if you're having trouble finding that, what I recommend is see the life that you have. Start saying, okay, well, what's my purpose? Write it down. Because too often, this up here doesn't hold. It changes. It's not fear of missing out. It's short-term unreliability to focus. That's why I love helping people, because I am a mirror. When I work with people, I am the mirror for what you're saying. I hear it and I try to echo back to you because you need that in life. Communication is difficult, but communication with somebody who understands communication in the mind is brilliant because you get to hear your words coming back to you to decide, is that really what I want? Here's the whole point. The whole point is to get to a true goal for you. What is a true goal? A true goal is not, I want money. A true goal says, I want money because. What's the because? I want money because I want to buy things. Okay, well, you want to buy things because. I want to buy things because I felt like I didn't have things earlier in life. Is that a true goal? Or, are you now making up for some of the training, some of the lack of feeling, some of the things that were put into your head when you were younger that you're trying to recuperate? That's that subconscious mind sort of sabotaging your goals. True goal, I want money because I can create the life that I want, that I know I'm going to enjoy. There's a true goal, right? You can have money, absolutely. If you know what it's going for, if it's going for a life of comfort and joy, true goal. You want a new car because the old car is broken. You want a new car because, I don't know. See, your goals are your goals based on the actual purpose and vision that you're going for. And the whole point is to understand yourself better. Because for a lot of us, we don't know ourselves. We've been working for other people for so long that we've been brainwashed through school, through teachers, through bosses, through the stress of responsibility, right? And that's tough. Because how do you know what you want if you've been busy chasing all of these things because you thought they would make other people happy? Now there's a good question. How do you know if it's actually what you want if you've been chasing all these things to make other people happy? Does it bring fulfillment? If you're walking a path of purpose, do you have fulfillment inside from that purpose? Or are you waiting for somebody to tell you, congratulations, you did a good job? Because if you're waiting for that, I'm going to invite you to have a conversation with yourself, with your inner child, your inner being, and tell that person, that little you. Maybe I love the idea of the inner child because you can say, I love you, little me. I've always loved you. Like nobody else can love you because I know everything that you have felt. I have felt everything that you have felt, and I am here to tell you that you are enough. You are worthy. You are beautiful. You are handsome. You are brilliant. You can accomplish anything. And I am here for you. Always. And regardless of what other people have made you feel or made you think you need in your life, I'm here to listen to you. What do you really want? Take my hand. Let me walk with you. Walk with me. Walk in my life. Help me connect with my body and my energy and my frequency and my life to know what actually turns me on. Not turns me on, but like what lights me up? What helps me shine? What is it that draws me forward? It's like asking the universe, give me a sign, and then telling yourself, because you need to tell yourself, hey, look for the sign. Look for the signposts. Look for the giant fireworks. Because it's for you. You have entangled them. Quantum entanglement. You have made it at this point. You have created a spot for the universe to respond to you. Universe, give me a sign. You listen, watch for the sign. Wait for it. Because it always shows up. Always. The couple of weekends ago, I went with my wife to go walk down at a beach down at Edmonds, Washington. And we were walking along the beach, and a ferry landed, and all of these cars were streaming off of the ferry across the sound. And they were coming off, and we were walking, and we needed to get across the street. And I said, don't worry about it. This is going to perfectly clear up as soon as we get over there. Something's going to happen. And she looked at me. She's like, I ride the ferry multiple times a week. It doesn't just clear up, Jeremy. It doesn't just clear up. Things like that don't just happen out of nowhere. This is going to take like 20 or 30 minutes, and we'll be stuck on this side of the beach. And I said, no, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to change. Just wait for it. Let's just keep walking. Enjoy the beach. Enjoy right now. Enjoy being whatever this is. And when we got across, and we got to the point of crossing the street, suddenly we heard ringing bells, and a train started passing, which means they had to hold all the traffic on the ferry until the train finished passing. And she stopped and started laughing, and she looked at me and she said, Did you make that happen? I said, I just know that it was going to figure it out somehow. I don't know what I made happen. But you know what? If you want to go ahead and think that, go for it. That seems like a ringing bell of a sign. Literally, a railroad train coming through to let us pass. Just to get to the other side of the beach. No, I didn't look at the train schedules. I don't look at that stuff. I don't really care about that stuff. I was there to enjoy time with my wife. I was there to enjoy the sunshine and the beach and the sand. It felt so good on my feet. But this is what happens when you let your true self, your inner self, your purpose, your motivation, just be. You don't fight it. Sometimes it requires some quelling of the voices in the head, those voices that tell you you should be doing something else, you need to be doing something else. SWC. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. My mom used to say that a lot. She would, her idea was you made decisions and you move forward with those. And, like anything else, if it feels good, it feels good. And so you take the steps that are along that path. You take the steps that move you forward. You take the steps that move you in conjunction and compassion and joy, in celebration of life, of each other. And when things pop up and you make that choice and you move forward with it, you go with it. You don't put too much energy into thinking about it and doing it. And then if something happens and someone says, well, you should have done this other thing, SWC. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, Different time, different place. I made the decision based on the beliefs and the knowledge that I had at the time. That's all we can do. So looking at that and looking at your life, looking at the purpose, looking at how much joy you have, looking at the things you're doing and how you're living, working for other people, maybe you're working from home. This is the perfect opportunity in this time in our society to actually think about your purpose, to connect with your motivation and your actual vision for your life and future. Because so many people are now starting to go back to work and finding that they didn't really enjoy that work in the first place. They didn't really enjoy a micromanager. They didn't really enjoy making money for a corporation that, frankly, if they quit, the corporation would, who cares? And there's a lot of companies like that right now. It just doesn't matter. And so right now is a perfect time to reconnect with your purpose, reconnect with your thoughts, reconnect with the things that bring you joy, and reconnect with things that you can offer other people of yourself that bring them joy, that bring connection, that bring community, that bring people together. Start a business around that. Why not? There's no better time. Stop working for somebody else and start building your vision, your life, your dream right now. I'd love to help. If you have that dream, if you have that vision, if you're not sure of the steps to take, if you're not sure how to quantify and systemize the things you're taking, if you're not sure how to upgrade what you're doing now with some true goals and some true purpose and true clarity, my program's called Manifest Design. Check it out, www.thinktankcreative.net. I'm not really here to sell you my program. I'm here to talk about the way I see the world. Maybe it helps you. Maybe it helps you understand that what you do, how you act, how you feel, the way you see things, the way you see the world, the way you see your coworkers, the way you interact with people around you is literally creating your reality. And when they do things, they are co-creating your reality, and you are co-creating their reality, because all of us, this physical body is not what is actually experiencing any of that. Inside, the brain isn't really experiencing. The brain is putting together the signals. There is a deeper part, a quantumly connected part that is experiencing this. And frankly, as I close out today, the scary part is that this quantum part of you, that soul, that spirit, that essence, that frequency, that wavelength, that energy, it doesn't care if your life is fearful, angry, joyous, celebratory, short, long. That part of you, in Hindu it's Atman. That part of you is just here for the experience. Just here to see how the rest of this, the physical part of it, plays. See, it's a game. If you've played video games, you are the avatar. You've just forgotten that there's something higher driving you. Until you find bits of that purpose, bits of that vision, bits of motivation that push you forward and excite you, right? Excitement to inner fulfillment. That's what we're talking about here. Transforming your life so you have more moments of that. Because you can have all the negativity, that greater part of yourself, that quantum consciousness, doesn't care, doesn't mind. It's all a game. It's all the experience. The experience is what counts. So why not make it fun? Why not make it joyous? Why not make it everything you've ever wanted it to be? Because apparently, we can. And it's up to you. I believe in you. You are enough. You are worthy. You are a creator. You are a genius. You are brilliant. You just need to start believing it yourself. And I can't wait to help you. Thanks. Love you. Take care.